Manchester United are back to winning ways, but how did they do it? In previous videos, I have said that Michael Carrick has been too one-dimensional, but against Aston Villa, he changed it up. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to mention is Manchester United's setup, or more specifically, their attacking formation. Ever since Michael Carrick has taken over, Manchester United have mostly used a 4-2-4 formation in attacking phases. However, against Aston Villa, they changed it up quite dramatically, and this time used a 3-2-5 formation during their attacking phases. As you can see here, the key to this change was how high Diogo Dalot played, as he would completely leave the back line, go high up the pitch, so Shaw would slot into a back three alongside Maguire and Lenny Yoro. And this obviously allowed for more numbers going forward for Manchester United in their attacking phases. But it also saw a shift in the style of play. Previously, I had been quite critical of Carrick for trying to force the play through the middle of the pitch. And I believe this was down to Carrick's player-centric approach, where he would set up the team purely based on the players' individual strengths. So we would see guys like Cunha and Mbeumo, Bruno, Sesko, Mainu, Casemiro, etc. all operating from central areas with minimal width. Against Aston Villa though, we saw a more system-led approach, which as an example saw Cunha operating as a more traditional left-sided winger, instead of allowing him to come inside and play centrally as we've previously seen. And like I said, Dalot was used much higher up the pitch as a right winger mainly, and we saw much more wing play from Manchester United in general. This of course added a new dimension to the Manchester United attack, and it's something that I was really hoping that Carrick would be able to implement or execute after games and games and games of just doing the same thing over and over. And as you can see from the footage, the 3-2-5 shape enabled United to create a lot of chances. The change in formation also allowed for another key player role shifting, and this time it's Bruno Fernandes. And this example is not really as clear as Dalot playing higher and wider, for example, or Cunha playing wider instead of playing more centrally. But it was very noticeable that Bruno was playing much more deeper than he previously has done under Carrick. With Dalot taking up a position on the front line, we saw Villa's backline heavily occupied, and instead of Bruno spending his time on that front line as well and finding himself with less and less space, what they did was they dropped him back into deeper places where he would find more time and space. And thus he played in a more traditional number 10 or AMC role. And let's just say he was electric there, on top form. He was heavily involved in some really dangerous and good play just behind the front line, which wasn't previously possible when he was on the front line in that 4-2-4 formation. Now Bruno, obviously he's not the type of guy that you want on that front line at the very front. He's the type of guy that you want to drop him back, you want to distract the defense with strikers and wingers so you can give Bruno space further back. And this Aston Villa game is a great example of where you need Bruno playing and why he's so good at it. So even though I did say United changed to a 3-2-5, which a lot of the time they were in that formation, technically with Bruno dropping back they were maybe in a more of a 3-2-1-4, but let's not overcomplicate it and turn into formation nonsense here. And I also want to mention someone who I previously brought up in the video, and it's Diogo Dalot. I think he had a really good game against Aston Villa, and pushing him further up the pitch really seemed to suit him. And Dalot, he's a bit of an enigma and seems to split the fan base quite a lot. Some United fans see him as a complete liability, whilst other United fans really like the attributes that he has and believe that he can be a really good and useful player. For example, his physicality is really good. He's got good strength, he's got good speed, he's good in the air, his crossing ability is really good as well, and I do think he's got the ability to be a great asset in the attack. And against Villa, for example, we saw him putting in some really good crosses, and he also had a couple chances to score himself, but he did completely fluff the opportunities. But his off the ball movement is seriously underrated in my opinion. We even saw him on a couple occasions in this game move to the striker position, playing as a central forward, and he is a great asset to the team when they're using this system based on his attributes. However though, I can see both sides of the fan base. He is an incredibly frustrating player and his lack of consistency is annoying, but when it clicks, I do believe he is actually a very good player. Anyway, I just wanted to mention him specifically in this video because his positioning was a key change to this Manchester United team against Aston Villa, and actually a key reason why Manchester United won. So I just feel he deserves to have some respect put on his name after quite a hard hard and challenging season, or a couple of seasons actually. But anyway, Carrick proved me wrong in this game, and he did show he's got different dimensions to his game. We saw some tactical progression that I was crying out for previously. So hopefully this can continue until the end of the season at least, and who knows, maybe even longer. What did you find most interesting about the game, and are you feeling more confident with Michael Carrick after a few dodgy game weeks? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, as it would really help the channel. Thank you!